we were one time and who our parents were and who their grandparents were. So don't forget them.
Una vez más, gracias a todos y felicidades. Y quisiera tomar esta oportunidad para reconocer a los estudiantes de mi programa, Ronald E. McNair Scholars Program. Por favor, levántense por favor. Felicidades a todos ustedes, a nuestros graduados. Y la siguiente danza va en favor de todos ellos.
I'm going to thank them, and then I'm going to introduce you, and then if you want to just come out, and then I'm going to hand you the mic first. I'll hand you the mic first. You do your thing, and then once you guys are done, then after you guys come out, they're going to start setting up the tables and the podium and all that other stuff. So then we'll take a break, and then are you guys joining us up on stage? You should if you weren't. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
But yeah, I'll leave that up to Lupe. I just assume you guys were, because that's usually what happens anyway.
I mean, we'll come back here anyway.
Yeah.
And then we'll see if Lupe wrangles
Yeah.
us for something.
Then we'll see. Yeah.
Una vez más, felicidades a todos los graduados del 2022. Lleven con ustedes toda esta energía que generamos del grupo Teocalli y Xochitl en Cuicatl y algunos danzantes que vienen solos. Resplendor Azteca. Muchas gracias. Nos vemos el próximo año. Sigan adelante, sigan conquistando los corazones de la gente. Lleven esta energía con ustedes a donde quiera que la lleven y sigan levantando nuestra comunidad. ¡Eres Dios, oh Meteo!
Buenos días. Mi nombre es Héctor Preciado y yo tengo el gran honor de ser el maestro de ceremonia para esta celebración. Good morning, everybody. My name is Héctor Preciado, and I have the distinct honor of being your master of ceremonies for today's graduation. Let's give another round of applause to Danza Mexica one more time. As we continue to wait for the rest of our guests to show up, I wanted to bring in a couple of people that are important to the UC Berkeley alumni, specifically the Chicano Latino alumni. So let me bring up a couple of speakers who will talk to you about the Alumni Association. I want to introduce Esperanza Vielma, Vice President of the UC Berkeley Chicana Latino Alumni Association, and Joseph Hans Silvestre, Board Member, UC Berkeley Chicana Latino Alumni Association. Un fuerte Fuerte aplauso, por favor.
Hola, buenos días. Felicidades primeramente a todos y sus familiares. Qué orgullo. Mi nombre es Esperanza Bielma. Vengo de la ciudad de Stockton, California, por medio de Jalisco, México. Me recibí en 1991, double major, Spanish y Chicano Studies. Quiero darles la bienvenida a todos los familiares, a todos los recibidos. Es un orgullo poder hablar con ustedes hoy. We welcome you also now to the UC Berkeley Chicano Latino Alumni Association. We're going to pass the torch on to you so that you then can inspire others to come into La Familia de los Osos. You're surrounded by all of the new leaders of California, of the United States, and of the world. You are the new leaders, son nuevos líderes de todo California, los Estados Unidos y el mundo. Ustedes como exalumnos de la universidad pública número 1 en el mundo. Van a seguir orgullosamente adelante con muchos más triunfos. You have no idea how much influence you have as UC Berkeley alumni. Literally, you're sitting next to all of the leaders. You'll know in the future, but again, congratulations y bienvenidos a ser exalumnos de UC Berkeley y continuar con la lucha de seguir adelante. Que viva la clase de 2022, que vivan los osos y que viva la raza.
Buenos dias, everybody. My name is Joe Ham. I am class of 2011, double major ethnic studies and French language. Bienvenidos. As Esperanza said, we encourage you to stay connected with your local CLA chapters as we continue to foster a sense of community with alumni around the world. Since 1984, we've enabled a network that strives for excellence across the industries and professions that we are a part of. And remember, journeys in life will have their twists and turns, but knowing that there is a support system like the ones you've built here at Berkeley, look around you, will guide you in those hard times. We'll also be there to celebrate your successes, including the incredible one you've achieved today. We congratulate you and welcome you to the alumni community. Go Bears!
Test, microphone test, 1, 2.
Quiero aprovechar.
Buenos días.
Ya que estoy tomado.
Buenos días.
para poder decirte todas las cosas que me guardas.
¿Andan de luto? Buenos días.
Son horas de llamar, pero te vi en línea
Acaba de salir el sol.
y solo quería confirmar.
Yo sé que todos tenían un poco de frío. Ay, va a estar bien frío, güey. No, bienvenidos. Como ha indicado, mi nombre es Héctor Preciado. Tengo el distinto honor de ser su maestro de ceremonias esta mañana. My name is Héctor Preciado. I have the distinct honor of being your MC for today's graduation ceremony. And so let me be the first to welcome you all. So students, mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, cousins, godparents, neighbors, homies, husbands, wives, sons, daughters, and the rest of the vecindad, right? Estudiantes, madres, padres, hermanos, hermanas, tías, tíos, primos, ninos, vecinos, esposos y esposas, compas y el resto de la vecindad, porque somos latinos, tenemos a todos, ¿no? A todos. Bienvenidos a la graduación de la comunidad Chicana Latina del año 2022. Welcome to the Chicano Latino graduation of 2022. To say the least, it has been a very challenging couple of years for us all, correct? And so, after 2 years of pandemic, of loss, of lockdowns, of economic downturns, of some of the most unanticipated challenges not only our families but the entire world has felt, it is really exciting and inspirational to be back here to celebrate the accomplishments of all these young people, right? A round of applause to all of the graduates. So to kick us off, we're going to start with a procession to bring in the faculty to start our graduation. Invitados, déjenles presento los que están aquí acompañándonos en el escenario. Kurt Organista, Professor and Harry Rivas Beck Chair in Publicity Supported Social Services and the School of Social Welfare. Fabricio Mejia, Assistant Vice Chancellor of Student Equity and Success in the Division of Equity and Inclusion. Our keynote speaker for tonight, or today, Melina Bobadilla, Ethnic Studies and Communications, go Bears. Marlene Blas Pedral, UC Student Region and student at the UC Berkeley School of Law. Juana Maria Rodriguez, Professor and Chair in Comparative Ethnic Studies. Rachel Morelo Frasch, Professor in the School of Public Health and Environmental Science, Policy and Management. Pablo Gonzalez, Lecturer in Chicano Latino Studies Program in the Department of Comparative Ethnic Studies, and apparently a very popular person on campus. Christian Pais, professor in comparative ethnic studies. Ray Tellez, associate adjunct professor in Chicano Latino Studies program in the Department of Comparative Ethnic Studies. Victoria Robinson, senior lecturer in the Department of Comparative Ethnic Studies and director of American Cultures. John Alba Cutler, professor in Department of English. Bernadette Perez, professor in Department of History. Andres Cardenas, professor in the School of Public Health. Jay Graham, professor in the School of Public Health and Environmental Health Sciences. Rosemarie de la Rosa, professor in the School of Public Health. Federico Castillo, lecturer in Chicano Latino Studies program in the Department of Comparative Ethnic Studies and research specialist in environmental science, policy, and management, and the person with the longest introduction in today's panel. Enrique Lima, lecturer in Chicano Latino Studies program in the Department of Comparative Ethnic Studies. Andrea Dubrau, lecturer and field consultant in the School of Social Welfare. Juan Berumen, lecturer in Chicano Latino Studies program in the Department of Comparative Ethnic Studies. Maggie Hunter, senior director of Centers for Educational Justice and Community Engagement in the Division of Equity and Inclusion. And of course, you heard from Esperanza Vielma earlier, Vice Chair, Chicano Latino Alumni Association, and Joseph Ham Silvestre, Board Member, Chicano Latino Alumni Association. And to close us out of introductions, for those of us on stage, Stephanie Gutierrez Rios, English student speaker, majoring in Chicano Latino Studies, and Jazmín Aguilar Rangel, our Spanish student speaker, majoring in Global Studies. Round of applause for them all. And now I'd like to welcome up to the mic Fabricio Mejia, Assistant Vice Chancellor for Equity and Inclusion, who will be the UC Berkeley Administrative Campus Welcome.
Buenos dias. Good morning. Are we awake? We drink our coffee? If you could see this view from up here, you would say, how beautiful, qué hermosura este view. Es mi gran honor y placer de darles la bienvenida de parte de la Administración de la Universidad de California en Berkeley. It's my grand honor and pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the administration of the University of California at Berkeley. Hace 25 años estuve aquí en este mismo teatro celebrando esta ocasión con mi familia. Over 25 years ago, wow, I can't even believe it. 25 years ago, I was in this very theater celebrating this milestone with my family. Me hace pensar, cada año esa celebración me hace pensar en lo que dice el artista Brandon Odums. Él dice, yo soy la realización de los mejores sueños de mis ancestros. Ustedes son la realización de los mejores sueños de sus ancestros. Every year, this celebration makes me think of what the artist Brandon Odom says. He says, I am my ancestors' wildest dreams. Well, I say you are your ancestors' wildest dreams. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. So as you sit back today, please take it all in. Time goes by really fast. Enjoy it, celebrate it, hug your loved ones, thank them, and feel what you feel. Continuamos con la celebración. Let's continue with the party.
Now let me bring up to the mic Professor Kurt Organista, who's a faculty in the School of Social Welfare and Co-Chair of the Chicano Latino Standing Committee, who will do the welcome on behalf of the faculty.
Buenos días, todo el mundo. Cuando digo buenos días, me refiero a este mismo día. Este día tan lleno de alegría, este día tan lleno de orgullo para nuestros graduados, orgullo para nuestras familias y comunidades, orgullo para nuestra experiencia Latinx aquí en Estados Unidos y en UC Berkeley. De parte de mis colegas aquí, educadores todos para servirles, bienvenidos, bienvenidos, bienvenidos. Hey, that was not too bad for a pocho Chicano from East LA, huh? Anybody from East Los Angeles here? You don't know how good that makes me feel. I mean, to hear so many of you from East LA, I'm from Boyle Heights myself. You know, Boyle Heights, East LA, like so many of our Latino communities throughout America, it's just so full of cultural richness, the food, the music, the people. In LA, we got so many Centroamericanos, so many Mexicanos, and so many Chicanos like me. And what I want to say about that is, even with all those richness, on a rare occasion, sometimes people will call you a pocho because your Spanish is not perfect, or should I say your Spanish is like mine? And sometimes you get your feelings hurt because, you know, that word pocho it's a strange word. I keep trying to figure out what it means, but I think it's like poached, you know, like we say un huevo pochado, you know, like an egg that's not fully cooked, right, or like half baked. But one thing I can tell you in my 33 years of being a professor here at Cal Berkeley and meeting hundreds, no, thousands of Latinx students, I can assure you that there's no one way, there's no right way of being Latinx. We are all Latinx in our own unique ways, and that's something that we need to embrace. So I will end by saying that let's embrace all the different ways that each and every one of us is Latino, is Latinx. And let's embrace this día, este mismo día, that is so full of happiness and celebration. Mil gracias.
Gracias, Professor de Boyle Heights. I'm from Boyle Heights too. Who's in Boyle Heights? What's up? So now let's get started with our speakers, no? To kick off our program, we're going to welcome our student speakers, and our first student speaker is Stephanie Gutierrez Rios. Stephanie is a Bay Area native with roots in Michoacán. Stephanie is a Chicanx studies scholar minoring in creative writing, graduating today with highest honors. An accomplishment especially challenging to sustain in the midst of a public health crisis. Don't we know that for sure? From the outset, her intention as a scholar has been to make knowledge production accessible. This intention has come to fruition by serving as a mentor to fellow transfer students through Stiles Hall, as well as producing a podcast series on Latinx identity with the Latinx Research Center. Other times, by simply recommending the best taqueria to her homesick peers. As a storyteller, creator, and healer, she dedicates this moment to her ancestors, community, and family, but especially to her late brother, Gino Victor Gutierrez. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, Stephanie Gutierrez Rios.
Grand Rising. I would like to welcome you all. Buen día, bienvenidos a todos. Your energy is received and reciprocated. Big appreciation to CLSD. Let us bear in mind that today is a celebration. Our joy is revolutionary. I'm looking around and everyone looks stunning. Berkeley goggles where? Who are they hanging out with? Before I formally begin, I wanted to announce that there might be a poll going around of what minute I'll start crying. It might not be too late to purchase your square. Holler at my coma here in row 4. Yaya, thank you. Para todos nuestros invitados, por ahí comentan que hay una quiniela apostando en qué minuto del discurso comenzaré a llorar. Puede ser que aún haya cuadritos por si gustan. Please don't start chanting quiere llorar. We are the first in-person Latinx graduation post-shelter in place. Likewise, yes. Likewise, in response to racist legislation that hinders families like mine in La Piedad, Michoacán, from celebrating milestones together, thanks to student effort, shout out Daniela, our ceremony is being live streamed for the very first time. This is a historic moment and responsibility that I do not take for granted. And since anyone, anywhere, could be watching, I just wanted to say, hi, Clay Thompson, the town misses you. Hey, you lose 100% of the shots you don't shoot, right? I would not be up here if it wasn't authentically me. Si ya saben cómo me pongo, ¿pa' qué me invitan? With that, I'd like to introduce myself for those who do not know me. I am daughter of Victor Gutierrez and Adelaida Rios, granddaughter of Guadalupe Berber Herrera, great-granddaughter of Adelaida Herrera Garcia, great-great-granddaughter of Marcelina Garcia. It was imperative for me to call in these names and these ancestors because that's how many generations it has taken for my lineage for this moment to arrive. Like many of us, survivors of colonization, I would need to call further generations back, but unfortunately, I don't have access to those names yet. So let the archive show, my name is Stephanie Gutierrez Rios. Thank you. My heart is so full and I am so grateful because I recognize that this moment is me living out the manifestation of my inner child, and I know I'm not the only one. From my peers who faced the violence of this institution, to our loved ones who supported us in all the ways they knew how, to our amazing leaders who did the absolute best they could from Zoom squares. Look around. This is the realization of a collective imagination. Thank you. Collective. It is thanks to our amazing faculty, staff, and entire UC Berkeley family network, from our professors to our advisors, but especially to our baristas at Café Milano and musical offerings, the compas at Artichoke, and to facility services. Their presence over the years came to represent family. When we felt the grip of the institution on our spirits, to see a smile that felt like home meant everything. To say thank you might not be enough, but it's a good place to start. So thank you for all that you pour into us, for believing in us when we so often doubted ourselves and our decision to study here. On the topic of doubt, statistically, I'm not supposed to be here. I was born to teenage parents that ran away from Michoacán. English is my second language. I was pushed out of high school. My merits do not include a high school diploma. I have a GED. The neighborhoods that raised me are the ones in which when outsiders roll through, they roll their windows up, but then they open their checkbooks to try to buy their way in. Yet, here I am, being disruptive once more. See, Mom, that talks too much in class came in handy today.
As a Bay Area native, UC Berkeley was spoken as the epitome of knowledge. So when I was a teenager walking through campus to get Fat Slice, what my wounded soul considered the closest that I could ever possibly be to its classrooms, to its libraries, a lie was whispering in my ear, "You're too poor, you're too brown, you're too dumb." I learned that one of the most insidious ploys of the project is to rob you of your imagination and the capacity to dream. Nevertheless, being able to name and address the traumas that plagued Adelaida, Victor, Guadalupe, and Marcelina in my reality is a step towards healing and one I take loudly and proudly. With that, the theme of the class of 2022 is Hoy semillas, mañana flores. Today seeds, tomorrow flowers. Las flores en vida. Flowers while we are earthside. If I could gift you one seed to take in your pocket today, it is this. Reclaim your imagination, dream your biggest dream, and then live it, even if it seems impossible. I know for many of us, especially experiencing a global health crisis together, there are many loved ones, deceased and even estranged, who accompany us in spirit today. My brilliant little brother, Gino Victor Gutierrez, passed away without the opportunity of ever celebrating his education, but his name is held in hands today in a ceremony program of the #1 public university in the world. The dream may come different earthside, in a different way, but nonetheless, I affirm to you, dream your biggest dream, then live it, even if it seems impossible. It would be my pleasure and honor to send you off with some affirmations. When I first heard of the term affirmations, I was like, what in the? And then I came to realize as I unpacked it, we've been receiving affirmations our entire lives. Ponte las pilas, échale ganas. So with that, if you feel called, I invite you to say the following out loud to yourself. I am beautiful. I am learning and growing. I am deserving of my dreams. And so it is. How does that feel? My parting affirmation, may you call upon it in the pursuit of your dreams. At the tables you will lead. Because the institution loves to forget where it's at. In the Bay, we like to say, I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself. Thank you.
What a mic drop. I'm in the building and I'm feeling myself. Nice. To kick us off with our Spanish address today is Jazmin. Let me tell you something about Jazmin. Jazmin Aguilar Rangel is a first-generation college student majoring with a BA in Global Studies with a concentration in peace and conflict and a regional focus in Latin America and minoring in public policy. She's challenging Federico for the longest introduction. Formerly, Jazmin completed her international baccalaureate diploma at the United World College, USA. She grew up in Michoacán, another Michoacana, and moved to the US at the age of 12 along with her family in the search of new opportunities. Her background of living in these two countries sparked her interest in studying the Mexico and the USA bilateral economic and political relationship. In 2021, Jazmin was given recognition on the Dean's List for maintaining a higher than 3.5 GPA. Aplausos, aplausos. She completed an internship with the Mexico Institute of the Woodrow Wilson Center in 2022. In addition, she is an IRLE, Institute for Research and Labor Employment, and LE, Latinx, and the Environment Institution Research Fellow for 2022, and conducted independent research on the power of organized crime, its interference in the avocado sector and worker safety in Michoacán. Jazmin has strengthened her passion for advocacy, conflict resolution, and human rights throughout her academic and professional experience. Ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, Jazmin Aguilar Rangel.
Queridos compañeros y compañeras, profesores, padres de familia y todos los presentes. Hoy es un gran honor el estar aquí y compartir este momento con ustedes. Felicitemos a todos los graduados por haber logrado completar una etapa importante en nuestras vidas. Es una meta que hemos logrado gracias al apoyo de nuestros seres queridos, aquellos que siempre han creído en nosotros. Hoy quiero comenzar por contarles una de las motivaciones más grandes de mi vida y la razón por la cual estoy aquí. En el año 2011, mi familia y yo dejamos nuestra ciudad natal en México para emigrar a un pequeño pueblo en California, dejando atrás familia, amigos y lo que considerábamos nuestro hogar. Como muchos otros, buscamos nuevas oportunidades para salir adelante. No sabíamos inglés ni estábamos acostumbrados a la cultura, y eso nos costó, a mi familia y a mí, varias noches de llanto y de frustración. Recuerdo en ese entonces acompañar a mis padres a trabajar a la cosecha de la uva. Mientras trabajaba y me quejaba por lo desgastante que resultaba el trabajo, observaba a mis padres sudar bajo el sol, cargando pesadas cajas de fruta con sus manos desgastadas. A mi madre, tratando de aprender un oficio nuevo, al que se notaba le costaba trabajo, pero aún así se mantenía fuerte ante sus hijas porque quería darnos un buen ejemplo. Échale ganas a estudiar, hija, para que tengas una profesión y un mejor futuro que nosotros, me decían mis padres. Y hasta la fecha, esas palabras siguen siendo mi motivación. Mamá, papá, hoy quiero agradecerles por el amor y el apoyo que siempre me han brindado, sobre todo en esos momentos en que pensé rendirme y por confiar en mí. A mis abuelos y abuelas, aunque no estén aquí presentes, les quiero agradecer por el gran esfuerzo que hicieron muchos años atrás y que hoy han rendido frutos. Este logro se los dedico a ustedes. Ahora me gustaría seguir hablando sobre esta institución que nos ha desafiado en muchos niveles, tanto personal como académicamente. El tiempo ha pasado demasiado rápido. Hace unos años comenzamos este viaje y hoy estamos al final de esta etapa. Aún recuerdo los primeros días en Berkeley. Me sentía un ser tan chiquito en un campus gigantesco. Recuerdo la ansiedad que tenía al estar enfrente de una aula de más de 100 personas, tomando clases que me parecían muy complicadas. El miedo de no conocer a nadie y de estar lejos de casa, pues para muchos era nuestra primera vez viviendo lejos de nuestra familia. De vez en cuando nos vimos en la necesidad de llamar a nuestros padres para preguntarles ciertos detalles de la vida cotidiana, desde cómo prender una lavadora, cómo cocinar cierto platillo y hasta qué remedio es bueno para aliviar una tos o un dolor de cabeza. Berkeley nos ha retado de muchas maneras, pues hemos pasado noches de desvelo, estudiando hasta la madrugada para aprobar un examen. Quizás alguno de nosotros hemos cambiado de carrera. Nos hemos salido de algunas clases por lo complicadas que resultaban ser. Y hasta nos ha provocado experimentar crisis existenciales. Recordemos todos esos momentos difíciles, los que han tenido que lidiar con depresión, con ataques de ansiedad, los que han estudiado y trabajado al mismo tiempo, los que se quedaron sin dinero y pensaron que ya no podían más. Además, ¿cómo olvidar aquella primavera del 2020? Pues la pandemia le dio un giro a nuestras vidas. De pronto, comenzamos a tomar clases a través de videollamadas y tuvimos que ajustarnos a un nuevo estilo de vida y una nueva experiencia académica. Recordemos y pensemos que a pesar de lo complicado que fue esto, seguimos avanzando, no nos rendimos y hoy estamos aquí celebrando nuestra graduación. También reconozcamos los buenos momentos que Berkeley nos ha brindado, pues aquí conocimos a gente increíble, gente talentosa e inteligente y con historias similares, pero únicas al mismo tiempo. En unos años recordaremos aquellas noches que pasamos con nuestros amigos y los recuerdos que creamos en este lugar con las personas que conocimos y que se convertirían en nuestra familia fuera de casa. Por otra parte, es importante reconocer el gran esfuerzo que hemos hecho como comunidad marginada, pues no siempre tuvimos los recursos y la guía académica necesaria. Sigamos luchando por nuestra comunidad, creando oportunidades, siendo aquellos que abren las puertas a las futuras generaciones para que nuestra voz como comunidad chicana y latina sea reconocida. Luchemos por ser los siguientes activistas, ingenieros, doctores, abogados, en fin, lo que queramos ser, pero siempre orgullosos de dónde venimos y de quiénes somos. Todos empezamos a un punto diferente, pero hoy estamos aquí juntos. Hoy simboliza el logro de una gran meta que todos nosotros hemos soñado. Hoy cerramos un capítulo importante de nuestras vidas y damos gracias a aquellos que nos acompañan aquí, a nuestra familia y a aquellos que desafortunadamente no pudieron estar con nosotros, pero que representan nuestra lucha. Esto solo es el comienzo de un gran camino que tenemos por delante. Muchos de nosotros vamos a continuar nuestros estudios, otros vamos a comenzar nuestras vidas laborales y muchos otros vamos a tomarnos un tiempo. Sin importar cuál sea el siguiente paso, será el paso indicado para el ritmo y rumbo correspondiente a cada una de nuestras vidas. Continuemos buscando eso que nos apasiona y continuemos con esas ganas de comernos al mundo. Graduados del 2022, tomemos un momento para reflexionar y estar orgullosos de lo que hemos logrado, a pesar de todos los retos que tuvimos que enfrentar. Recordemos que hoy semillas, mañana flores. Y nuevamente, muchas felicidades a nosotros, la clase del 2022. Y go Osos, go Bears. Gracias.
Otro fuerte aplauso para nuestros oradores estudiantiles. Y ahora les quiero presentar nuestra oradora especial, Melina Bobadilla. Melina is the daughter of Los Angeles, whose work as an actor and culture creative aim to disrupt and complexify current limited paradigms of Latina representation and narratives in the media. How's that for a UC Berkeley introduction, right? It's like... Best known for her screen and stage performances, Melina is a multi-hyphenate creative who is also an educator, voiceover artist, special correspondent, guest host for Futuro Media's Latino Rebels, consultant, producer of Latino USA's upcoming live show. She's a culture critic, public speaker, and an aguacate devotee. I wonder if she had anything to do with that aguacate conflict that Jasmine was researching or something, right? Like, you read about that, right? Yeah, there you go. Organic farmer, too. Best known for her stage and screen performances, Melina's work can currently be found on Netflix, Apple TV, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, all those streaming services that we're taking from our primos, right? And it'll soon be on Showtime as well. One of the roles she is proudest of is that of the fierce immigration attorney Melina Barragan on the second season of the Peabody and GLAAD Award-nominated Netflix series Gentefied. Who's watched Gentefied? Melina served as co-producer and stars as the lead Eva in the award-winning short film For Rosa, based on the Madrigal 10 and the 1975 Madrigal versus Quilligan federal class action case, centering the stories of Latinas who survived forced sterilization at LA County General Hospital. In June of 2021, Melina was featured in the historic LA Times multi-part special report, Hollywood's Latino Culture Gap, where she touched upon the importance of dismantling white supremacy within the entertainment industry. Prior to pivoting largely to media and entertainment, she worked with various cultural institutions and nonprofits such as MALDEF, El Teatro Campesino, Pedagogy and Theater of the Oppressed, the Center Theater Group, in a capacity that utilized theater and arts as tools for popular education and organizing. Melina holds a dual BA in Ethnic Studies and Mass Communications from UC Berkeley, go Bears, and a master's degree in theater and education from New York University. Melina is the proud first-gen daughter of incredibly supportive and loving parents who migrated to Northeast Los Angeles from Mexico and named her after a Camilo Sesto song. She's best friends with her younger sister and currently resides in LA with the love of her life, another Cal alum she serendipitously met at a house party years after graduating. How many times I heard that before, right? So ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I introduce you Melina Bobadilla.
Buenos días. ¿Cómo están? How are you? How are we doing? So just to let you know, I already cried about 5 or 6 times. Ya empecé a chillar bien temprano, primero en el hotel, cuando vi la cara de mi novio querido, cuando llegué aquí y vi a mis profesores que tenía hace muchos años. Entonces, para preservar el maquillaje, voy a intentar de calmarme, pero no promises. So, go chillonas. Who's a chillona? Chillone, chillonex, chillon. We love all of it. Okay, so, first of all, I need to start off by saying, I know a few of you, maybe like 2, 3, but I am so proud of you, con todo corazón. I am so proud of you. Who else is proud of our graduates today? Aquí estamos con los graduados, familias, amigues, comunidad que están aquí con nosotros apoyando a personas que están a punto de graduarse de la mejor universidad pública de este país. Go Bears. And in English, we're here with you, the graduates, families, friends, community members, faculty, and staff of UC Berkeley who have gathered here today to celebrate and hold space for all these beautiful people about to graduate from the best public university in the country, UCLA. I don't know her. Sorry, not sorry. We should be critical of all institutions, but I will brag about this forever, right? So as I was gathering my thoughts and preparing for today's remarks, I was inevitably reminiscent of the time when I once sat where you are today, a soon-to-be graduate of UC Berkeley with a double major in ethnic studies and mass comm, wearing ridiculously high platforms, much like the ones I'm wearing today. Go Chaparritas. And I was flanked on either side by my mommy and papi, with the small army of my Chavez family in the audience, including my grandparents, que en paz descansen. See, it's too early to start, guys. Apóyenme. I can't talk about abuelitas. I was here with my grandparents, my nina, my nino, my tios, tias, several cousins, and my little sister. One big difference was that, unlike today, my people were not in the audience recording on IG Live or TikTok, thank God. And no, you don't need to know what year that was because unas cosas son secretas, okay? We don't talk about Bruno, and we don't talk about ages and what year I graduated because none of your business. That's the last part of the song. It's a deep cut. You'll soon come to realize and really embrace the fact that time is an illusion, a colonial construct, and age is simply a number on government documents. Am I right? Stay moisturized and wear SPF, and you'll believe me. As I was preparing for today, I arrived at 2 questions. Because, you know, Berkeley students are taught to think critically, to always question everything, right? You're that person at the party that are like, damn, fool, really? You gotta get deep? Yes. I can't turn it off. You know what I mean, right? So the questions I arrived at were simple. What is the significance behind the ritual of a Chicanx Latinx graduation ceremony? And 2, what would graduating Melinita have wanted to or needed to hear at her own ceremony? What would I have benefited from or been healthily challenged by hearing when I was sitting where you are today? One second as I scroll my iPad. I want it to be sustainable and I didn't print. So, Exploring our celebration of a Chicanx Latinx graduation inevitably connects to a larger question about our identities and our participation in the Chicane Latina diaspora and community. Sidebar, okay, pongan atención. This is not going to be a debate about whether or not we should use Latinx, Latino, Latina, Latine, because the answer is yes, we should use all of them. And if you don't like that, just don't use it for yourself and get over it. And don't gaslight or erase folks who do identify with gender-inclusive terms, period. Thank you. Language evolves, and so do people. I believe in you. I believe in us. Sorry for that little interlude, but what do you expect? Again, I was an ethnic studies major at Berkeley, y como dicen por allí, hace 5 minutos, si ya saben cómo me pongo, ¿por qué me invitan? ¿Verdad? The salient reasons that came up for me as I pondered this question about Latinx grad were simple: family and community. When we hold space in the ritual of this graduation, and as we claim space on campus, we immediately strip power and the authority of dictating our legitimacy away from the institution and from academia, which, as we know, are historically entrenched in white supremacy. There is an inherent dignity in the redefining of spaces and practices that communities like ours, namely Black, Indigenous, migrant, oftentimes displaced, have been intentionally excluded from. In the participation of a ritual like today's, we take back power and begin a process of healing and fortification from all the times that we and our families were made to feel not enough, out of place, or illegitimate. That is why one of the most beautiful parts of our ceremonia today that I see we're preparing for is that of walking the graduation stage with 2 loved ones. It is so sacred, and that's why I remember being so happy when I found out that I could cross the stage and get my diploma, well, the fake diploma. It's like a stage prop. Holding my mother and father's hands. The accomplishment of receiving my bachelor's degree from UC Berkeley did not feel solely my own, but rather one I shared with my parents, grandparents, other family, and community that helped to shape and support me long before I got to Berkeley. And after reading through the dedications in the program for today's ceremony, it became evident that most of you also felt the contributions of your family were imperative to arriving at this moment of academic achievement, that you too framed this milestone as not only a great personal accomplishment, but rather a collective one. ¿Sí o no? So, your fellow graduates echoed this statement. Stephanie Gutierrez Rios said, "Self-made is a colonial term that does not sit right with my spirit. I'm a community-made woman." Same girl. Juan Gonzalez said, "This is for myself, my family, and Santana." And while we're shouting out areas, I rep Lincoln Heights and West Covina. What's up, 626? And Zaira Campuzano said, "Estoy aquí gracias al apoyo de muchos, pero soy lo que soy gracias a las mujeres en mi vida." And my girl, Yesenia Gonzalez, a former student of mine from an after-school arts program in LA and graduating today, dedicated her achievement in part to her 3 beautiful children, the little ones, part of future generations we pave the way for. I see you. I could go on and on because so many of you beautifully contextualize this moment as something larger than yourselves. Actually, yesterday is when I started chillando, and it was when I was reading this. And you centered it in gratitude. And as I prepared, I also asked my own parents how they felt when I graduated, and they said, "We were there with you all along, all throughout the years you were there." And they're watching us right now on the live stream. Hi, Mommy, Papi. Say what's up to my parents, Mr. and Mrs. Bobadilla. So, in this spirit, graduates, I'm going to ask you to be very present in this moment and activate this gratitude and turn to the loved ones accompanying you across the stage later, or wave to the folks in the audience who came out to support you and thank them now in real time. Hay que dar las gracias en este momento. So, you've probably done it at church. It's kind of like that. Go ahead. Un momento de ternura, por favor. This is, after all, a celebration and a display of love and gratitude. And if there's anyone here who could not be here physically, speak their names into existence. Say it in a whisper close to your heart or shout it out. Okay, now let's wrap it up porque si no van a empezar a llorar y llorar, llorar y llorar. Let us continue scaffolding ideas and clarifying intentions here. Here comes the educator in me. I can't turn it off again, Ethnic Studies Berkeley. So, we've identified that a common thread amongst this group of Chicanes Latinas is that of valuing family and community. And this shared value suggests that we see ourselves as inherently interconnected, which is simultaneously a blessing and a sacred responsibility. This interconnectedness extends beyond our families to our communities, the greater Latina diaspora on either side of the border, and other communities of color and immigrant communities. I want to highlight the significance of remembering that our liberation is inextricably linked to one another's, and that centering Black, Indigenous, and trans folks, both Latina identified and not, is vital. When we show up for each other and support each other's struggles, we step into our full humanity and power. As Latinas and children of the diaspora from around the Americas and the Caribbean, my hope is that as we uplift our community and celebrate our intricate heritages, we also identify ways to stand in solidarity with other historically marginalized or oppressed people. Reject colonial fragmentations that separate us into various groups of colonized and subjugated peoples and fool us into scarcity mindset, seeding blame and division, when we know our common oppression stems from colonialism fueled by white supremacy. Ahora estoy enojada. Just kidding. We must unlearn the lies that white supremacy has told us about each other in order to continue justifying its pernicious attacks on our humanity. Identifying our commonalities and being co-conspirators in liberation does not mean that we ignore and diminish the uniqueness of our respective community struggles, but actually fortifies our organizing, strategizing, and is morally consistent. We must proceed truly knowing in our core that our liberation is linked. Dr. Cornel West says, justice is what love looks like in public. Isn't that beautiful? Therefore, the love we have for our Latina community must manifest in ways that deeply interrogate spaces where injustice and inhumanity flourish, especially if they are perpetuated by those in the same community. We're gonna get real. More specifically, I'm talking about the need to address and stamp out anti-Black and anti-Indigenous mechanisms that have sadly been woven into the settler colonial fabric of Latinidad. Love has to be honest, y'all. This can only serve to empower us and bring unity, but there cannot be true unity and solidarity without honesty and accountability. It is possible for many things to be true at once, liminality, gray areas, and it is also possible to celebrate our heritage while also setting new standards, creating new customs, and healing generational traumas. For as scholar Robin D.G. Kelly said, we're not merely inheritors of a culture, but we are its makers. I know, this is a lot, okay? It's heavy, you thought you finished your classes. Well, not yet. But in the past few years, my own understanding and relation to Latinidad has expanded and become much more nuanced. Besides, I know that Berkeley kids love critical thought and dialectics, right? We do. Now, for my final thoughts, as your very cool, very young, wise tia, I want to invoke the wisdom of prolific Dominicana writer Julia Alvarez, who said this while speaking to graduates a few years ago. As you leave here, you're going to feel pressure to get a good job, get your career going, be a change maker. But I'm telling you, first things first, whatever you do, let it be something that at the end of the day you can say, I do this because I have a soul. Every choice, ask yourself, is this going to be a soul-making or soul-selling choice? Do not settle for less. That's what a life is for. Be what you long to be. AKA, do what you love. Now you're probably like, okay, wait a minute. She just told us a few paragraphs ago that we need to be like civil rights attorneys, and now she's telling us that we can be basket weaving spoken word artists. Well, no, not necessarily, but also yes, maybe. Because I know that when we engage in freedom dreaming and allow ourselves to envision what liberation can look like, it absolutely includes our health, joy, and creativity. I'm gonna say that again. Anytime we envision our future, we must center our health, joy, and creativity. There's a quote we've all seen on IG or heard in passing. See, this is what happens when you're like the fourth speaker. Some people already said some of my good stuff. But I love this, it's collective knowledge. So I'll say it again. We are our ancestors' wildest dreams. And when I think about that, I wonder, what were those dreams? How do we dream for ourselves and also collectively by creating shared visions of a future? I think the wild dreams of our ancestors probably extended beyond 401ks, blue check marks, degrees, and other measures of Western success. ¿Sí o no? I hope so. I think they also included the ancient, the intangible, the simple elements of living out our full humanity. Being a professional actor is something I don't think I would have imagined for myself when I was at Cal, because I was standing in my own damn way. My burgeoning, radically politicized self saw acting as maybe a hobby, despite the fact it was secretly a dream. But I told myself it was impractical, apolitical, selfish, and wouldn't be enough to liberate my community. I put all that on my own little back. It took a few years, gigs, an expensive grad program, and the passing of my abuelita to allow myself the freedom to pursue acting as a career. In the 1970s, my abuelita rode the bus all over Boyle Heights and Lincoln Heights selling Avon. Who knows about Avon? Eh? Who fucks with Avon? Despite my abuelito forbidding her to work. She got her Avon hustle on for years in secret, and in her own way, she exercised her agency and defied patriarchal expectations, making friends around the East Side, being well moisturized, and eventually saving enough money to help my tia with a down payment for a house. Shout out to my mama Tina. When she passed, something shifted in me, and I asked myself, what would my mama Tina have chosen for herself had she been afforded the privileges and freedom that I, her first-generation granddaughter, had? What were her dreams? If life was so short and I firmly believed that Black and brown folks deserve to thrive and dream, why was I not shooting my shot to follow my own? About a year later, I finally allowed myself to pursue that dream. I kept deferring. Soon, I also found ways to make a bridge, ways to utilize my creative passion to educate, build with community, raise my voice against injustices. I started stepping into a more authentic version of myself. As you move forward in life, finding meaningful, purpose-driven work, remind yourself to make time, here we go again, for your own joy and health and overall self-care, because you can show up best for your family and community if you put your own oxygen mask on first. You know what they tell you in the airplanes? If the plane crashes, you gotta put your mask on first. How are you gonna help people if you can't breathe? You understand the metaphor, right? Learn the importance of setting boundaries to protect your time and energy. And finally, I want to conclude by returning to the act of dreaming. If we engage in freedom dreaming, we envision not what we are fighting against, but what we are fighting for. As Robin D.G. Kelley says in their book, Freedom Dreams, without new visions, we don't know what to build, only what to knock down. We not only end up confused, rudderless, and cynical, but we forget that making a revolution is not a series of clever maneuvers and tactics, but a process that can and must transform us. I think when my grandmother became an ancestor, she left me with some of her dreams and helped me nourish my own. Go find out what those wild dreams are, and when you find some, keep allowing yourself to discover new ones. Si hoy somos semillas y mañana flores, remember that as flowers grow upward, so too the roots grow deeper into the soil, into community. So, 2022 graduates of UC Berkeley, may your roots continue to be nourished, and may you blossom joyfully into your dreams. I'm so proud of you. Felicidades. Gracias.
Otro fuerte aplauso para Melina. Ok, el momento más anticipado. My speech. Just kidding. So miss you too. So without further ado, let's bring in some of the graduates, starting with the PhDs. I got goosies like Jennifer Lopez on, So You Think a Dance Show, like I got goosies, right? So let's start with our first PhD, Rosalinda Godinez, PhD in Education, hooded by Dr. Christian Pais. Laura Magaña, Environmental Health Sciences, PhD, hooded by Dr. Rachel Frosch Morello.
They're supposed to stand over here.
Oh, okay. Melanie Plasencia, PhD, Ethnic Studies, hooded by Dr. Christian Pais. Francis Free Ramos, PhD Education, hooded by Dr. Pablo Gonzalez. Omi Salas Santa Cruz, PhD Education, hooded by Dr. Juana Maria Rodriguez. Brian Salazar, PhD, Mechanical Engineering, the future Tony Stark, hooded by Dr. Rachel Frosch Morello. And to close out our PhDs, Sofia Arevalo, PhD in Mechanical Engineering, hooded by Dr. Rachel Frosch Morello. And now I'm gonna hand it off to my colleague here, Dr. Pablo Gonzalez, who's gonna be reading off the master's graduates.
Emily Aguilar Gonzalez, Master's in Education. Maria Alvarez Pineda, Master's in Public Health. America Ambris, Master's in Social Welfare. Bianca Armenta, Master's in Public Health. Nicole Balbuena, Master's in Social Welfare. Natalie Barraza, Master's in Social Welfare. Jesse Garcia Gutierrez, Master's in Public Health and Social Welfare. Adriana Garcia Urrieta, Master's in Social Welfare. Juan Gonzalez, Master's in Public Health and City Planning. Nancy Gutierrez, Master's in Public Health. Elvira Juarez Morales, Master's in Education. Leoncio Lagarde, Master's in Earth and Planetary Science. Ismari Maldonado, Master's in Social Welfare. Erika Martinez Resendiz, Master's in Public Health. Alejandro Pelcastre Ramirez, Master's in Information and Data Science. Evelyn Perez, Master's in Social Welfare. Veronica Ponce, Master's in Social Welfare. Kiara Quintanar, Master's in Social Welfare. Grecia Resendez, Master's in Public Affairs. Daliana Reyes, Master's in Social Welfare. Caroline Rivera Rosillo, Master's in Social Welfare. Quetzali Rocha, Master's in Social Welfare. Marisol Rubio, Master's in Social Welfare. Elias Saravia, Master's in Information and Data Science and a Bachelor's of Arts in Applied Mathematics. Vanessa Soria Zarate, Master's in Social Welfare.
We start with our bachelor's degree students. Giselle Alvarez, Ethnic Studies and Education. Ashley Ayala Mendoza, Chicana and Latino Studies, second major, Ethnic Studies. John Ayala Hernandez, Ethnic Studies. Gracias. Yanira Cortez, Ethnic Studies. Daniel Cosmes Aguilar, major, Ethnic Studies, minor, Luso-Brazilian language and literature, and second minor at that, journalism. It's Getty Cruz Duran, sorry, major, Ethnic Studies, second major, Chicana and Latino Studies with a minor in education. Melissa Esparza, Ethnic Studies, second major, Political Science. Kimberly Fuentes, major, Ethnic Studies, second major, Sociology. Daisy Gamero, major, Ethnic Studies, a minor in Education. Oscar Garcia Valadez, major, Ethnic Studies, minor in Chicano and Latino Studies, minor in Education as well. Yesenia Gonzalez, a major in Ethnic Studies. Stephanie Gutierrez Rios, major, Chicana Studies and Latina Studies, a minor in Creative Writing. Chitali Hamelius, major, Ethnic Studies, a minor in Latino Studies. Marcela Lacayo Vargas, a major in Ethnic Studies and a minor in Education. Jailin Lopez, Chicana and Latino Studies, a minor in Education. Giovanna Lozano, a major in Chicana and Latino Studies, a minor in Spanish Language and Literature. Veronica Massa, a major in Ethnic Studies and double major in Molecular and Cell Biology. Is that you? Yeah. Maria Medina, double major in Ethnic Studies and Political Science. Brandon Mendoza, double major in Ethnic Studies and Geography. Leslie Mendoza, double major in Ethnic Studies and Legal Studies and a minor in Race and the Law. Raul Montellano, Ethnic Studies with a minor in Data Science. Cristina Ortiz, a major in Chicano, Latino Studies and second major in Ethnic Studies. Brianna Paz, Ethnic Studies and English, double major. Jennifer Rivera Agumedo, major in Chicana and Latino Studies. Valeria Rocha Castro, Ethnic Studies. Kivette Ruiz Gaitan, major in Social Welfare, and a double major in Ethnic Studies, and a minor. Sure, please. Go ahead.
Mi nombre es Kaivet Teresa Ruiz Gaitán. ¡Lo hicimos! ¡Eh!
Laura De Sanchez, Ethnic Studies with a minor in Education. Hernan Soto Acevedo, Chicano and Latino Studies with a minor in Journalism. Annette Tamayo, double major in Legal Studies and Ethnic Studies. Celina Valdez, Ethnic Studies. Laila Valle, double major in sociology and Chicana and Latino studies. Ariana Coracero, chemical engineering. Linda Solis Chavez, chemistry.
Leslie Cruz Cabrera, major business administration. Priscilla Mendoza, major business administration. Lluvia Mendoza, major business administration. Natalia Nava Urbina, major business administration and minor in public policy. Felicidades. Magali Venegas, major business administration. Jesus Barrios Castrellón, major architecture, minor city and regional planning, second minor sustainable environmental design. Jennifer Lopez, urban studies. Janeth Ramirez, major architecture, minor city and regional planning. Dulce Sotelo, major architecture. Rios Vargas, major landscape architecture, second major film and media. Felicidades. Lucia Velázquez, major architecture. Sofia Arevalo, major mechanical engineering. Luis Fernandos Ayala Cardona, major bioengineering, minor electrical engineering and computer science. Javier Ballardes, major electrical engineering and computer science. Josue Esquivel Jacobo, major electrical engineering. Alejandro Garcia, major civil engineering. Jason Guardado, major electrical engineering. Roberto Guillen, major electrical engineering and computer science. Cristina Hernandez, major electrical engineering and operations research. Alberto Ibarra, major electrical engineering, minor ethnic studies.
Adriana Lupercio, major civil engineering. Gustavo Oseguera, major civil engineering. Andrea Palomo, major bioengineering, material science, and engineering joint major. Michelle Ramirez Leon, major, mechanical engineering. Alfredo Santana, major, electrical engineering and computer science. Leonardo Soto, major, Industrial Engineering and Operations Research, minor, Science and Math Education. Cristina Acosta Navarro, major, Conservation and Resource Studies, second major, Ethnic Studies. Alexis Aguilar, major, Conservation and Resource Studies. Tyler Aguilar Onedork, major, Society and Environment. Leslie Alfonso, major, Society and Environment, minor, Food Systems. Jason Arauz, major, Nutritional Science, Physiology and Metabolism. Wendy Ayala, major, Society and Environment, minor, Global Poverty and Practice. Eunice Bonfil, major, Nutritional Sciences, Physiology and Metabolism, second major, Conservation and Resource Studies. Lisette Campos, major, Nutritional Sciences, Physiology and Metabolism. Stacy Gabriel, major, Society and Environment, second major, Political Economy, minor, Public Policy. Alexander Gomez Lara, major, Nutritional Sciences, Toxicology, second major, Molecular and Cell Biology. I know. Emily Hernandez, major, Environmental Sciences. Noemi Martinez, major, Molecular Environmental Biology, minor, Spanish Language and Literature. Valerie Medrano Arteaga, major, Molecular Environmental Biology. Emmanuel Rodriguez, major, Conservation and Resource Studies, minor, Science and Math Education. Maria Fernanda Rodriguez Torres, major, Microbial Biology. All right. Melanie Rodriguez Fuentes, major, Environmental Sciences. Eyuera Svoboda, major, Molecular Environmental Biology, second major, Environmental Economics and Policy, minor, Chicano Latino Studies.
Iselin Yepes, major, Environmental Economics and Policy. Gracia Abarca, major, Integrative Biology. Ooh, sorry, that's you. Oh, okay, sorry. Gracia Abarca, major, Integrative Biology. Maybe up, yeah, thanks. Okay. Giselle Aceves, major, Political Science, second major, Legal Studies. Isaiah Acosta, major, Art Practice, second major, Media Studies. Ulises Aguilar, major, Psychology. Asmin Aguilar Rangel, major, Global Studies, minor, Public Policy. Congratulations. Angelica Aguilera, major, Integrative Biology, minor, Chicano Latino Studies. Thank you. Carmen Daniela Alba Vialta, major, Social Welfare, minor, Music. Oh, next one, okay. Rebecca Acala, major, Legal Studies, second major, Sociology. Enesis Alejo, major, Legal Studies, minor, Education. Julio Alejo, major, Applied Mathematics.
Diego Alonso, major, Media Studies. Christopher Alvarez, major, Data Science, minor, Spanish Language and Literature. Yailin Alvarez Bajena, major, Psychology, second major, Legal Studies. Ambar Anaya, major, Interdisciplinary Studies. Nadia Lizeth Araiza, major, Global Studies. Mabel Araujo Remy, major, Legal Studies, second major, Psychology, minor, Public Policy. Christopher Arellano, major, Public Health. Evelyn Arellano, major, Legal Studies, minor, Political Economy. Jessica Arevalo, major, Public Health, minor, Public Policy. Montserrat Arguello, major, Integrative Biology. Karen Arias Melgar, major, Anthropology, minor, Native American Studies. Elaine Ariola, major, Legal Studies, minor, Philosophy.
Yesenia Arroyo, double major, Sociology and Legal Studies. Jimena Avalos, double major, Legal Studies and Psychology, minor in Race and the Law. Stefania Avalos Chavez, major, Political Science, minor, Chicano and Latino Studies. Natalie Avila, major, Psychology. Yvette Avila Gonzalez, major, Anthropology. Mitzi Ayala Varela, double major, Social Welfare, Gender and Women's Studies, with a minor in Early Development and Learning Science. Laura Yedia Badillo Bazan, major, Anthropology. Ashley Varillas, major, Molecular and Cell Biology. Double major, Conservative and Resource Studies. Maria Varillas Hernandez, major, Psychology. Double major, Ethnic Studies, with a minor in Education. Stephanie Varillas Palma, major, Political Science, minor, Human Rights and Interdisciplinary. Tania Paola Benitez Caballero, major, Media Studies. Emily Elizabeth Bermudez, major, Social Welfare, double major, Environmental Economics and Policy. Ariana Berumen, double major, Sociology, Spanish and Portuguese, minor, Education. Alitzel Blanco, major, Anthropology. Aileen Bonel, major, Psychology, minor, Education. Araceli Beatriz Borja, major, Media Studies, minor, Journalism. Alexis Brito, major, Legal Studies, minor, Education. Karina Buenrostro, major, Integrative Biology, double major, Ethnic Studies. Anare Bustos Barocio, major, Integrative Biology. Oscar Ricardo Calva Hernandez, major, film and media, minor in French. Vanessa Camacho, major, legal studies. Diana Campos, major, psychology, minor, education. Zaira Campuzano, major, Spanish and Portuguese, second major, Chakina and Latino studies. Alma Cano Aguilar, double major, applied mathematics, Spanish and Portuguese.
Galena Carvalho, major, sociology. Karina Cardenas, major, legal studies, second major, psychology, minor, Luso Brazil, Brazilian languages and literature, second minor, ethnic studies. Michelle Cardenas, major, global studies, minor, human rights, interdisciplinary. Isabel Cardenas Andrade, major, media studies, second major, political science. Jose Cardona, major, economics. Desi Carrasco, major, sociology, second major, American studies. Johanna Carrasco, major, film and media. Denise Carrillo, major, marine science, minor, education. Daisy Carrillo Martinez, major, integrative biology. Anais Castro, major, political science. Alisa Caceres, major, legal studies, second major, ethnic studies, minor, education. Leslie Feliciano, major, cognitive science. Sicilia. Alina Charavin, major, psychology. Ivan Chavez, major, history. Morelia Chiahuaque, major, political science, minor, human rights, interdisciplinary. Priscilla Cobian, major, anthropology, minor, city and regional planning. Luis Cobian Jr., major, history, minor, journalism. Liana Constantino, major, legal studies, second major, Spanish and Portuguese. Alfredo Contreras, major, legal studies, minor, education, second minor, public policy. Daniel Correa Bucio, major, integrative biology, second major, molecular and cell biology, minor, Chicano Latino studies. Jose Cortez, major, data science. Karina Cortez Garcia, major, political science, minor, public policy, second minor, human rights, interdisciplinary.
Antonio Cruz de la Cruz, major, molecular and cell biology, second major, sociology. Alma Cruz Ramos, major, political economy. Selena Cuevas, major, psychology, minor, education. Jasmine Diaz, major, legal studies, second major, social welfare, minor, human rights, interdisciplinary. Alma Diaz de Leon, major, public health, minor, public policy. Ashley Dionisio, major, political science, minor, journalism. Jocelyn Dominguez, major, political science. Maria Dominguez, major, sociology. Jasmine Dominguez Ramirez, major, public health, minor, public policy. Ana Dubon, major, political economy. Jesse Duran, major, political science, minor, education. Daniela Espinosa, major, political science, second major, Chicano Latino studies. Laura Espinosa Carranza, major, applied mathematics, second major, Spanish and Portuguese. Valerie Fernandez, major, political science, second major, ethnic studies. Carolina Flores, major, legal studies, second major, political science. Gabriela Flores, major, public health. Jessica Flores Estrada, major, legal studies. Brianna Fragoso, major, molecular and cell biology, second major, ethnic studies. Lisandro Franco, major, data science. Adrian Frias, major, geography, second major, ethnic studies, minor, education. Daisy Gallardo, major, sociology. Ashley Garcia, major, political science, second major, legal studies. Suilma Garcia, major, American studies, minor, human rights, interdisciplinary.
Marbella Garcia Bermudez, major, psychology. Jocelyn Garcia Sereno, major, cognitive science, minor, Spanish language and literature. Dylan Gervasio, major, global studies, second major, Spanish and Portuguese. Emily Godinez, major, sociology, second major, legal studies. Brenda Gomez, major, sociology, minor, education. Jacqueline Gomez, major, media studies. Giselle Gomez, major, legal studies, minor, ethnic studies. Sarai Gomez, major, applied mathematics, minor, data science. Marisol Gonzalez Granados, major, public health, minor, public policy. Ashley Gonzalez, major, philosophy, minor, public policy. Amy Granados Dominguez, major, social welfare, minor, public policy. Adriana Guzman, major, psychology, minor, education. Pamela Hasburn, major, English, minor, creative writing. Fabi Hernandez, major, astrophysics, minor, education. Ivan Hernandez, major, political science, minor, public policy. Kimberly Hernandez, major, molecular and cell biology, minor, Cal Teach. Mili Hernandez, major, legal studies, second major, political science, minor, ethnic studies.
Triple major. If you can announce that.
Yeah, I announced them all. Triple major. Triple major. Natalie Hernandez, major, legal studies, minor, human rights, interdisciplinary. Nicole Hernandez, major, public health, minor, data science. Yesenia Hernandez Hernandez, major, philosophy. Yadira Hernandez Figueroa, major, political science, second major, ethnic studies. Diego Holguin, major, sociology, second major, ethnic studies. Amanda Horacio, major, data science. Ana Huerta, political science, minor, public policy.
Marco Huerta, rhetoric. Isaac Ibarra Barbosa, major, economics, minor, data science. Reina Iniguez, major, English. Celeste Islas, major, social welfare, minor, education. Janet Hara, major, political science. Edgar Jimenez, major, economics. Gabriela Jimenez, major, sociology. Claudia Jorge, major, sociology, minor, public policy. Lilian Juarez Armenta, major, political science, minor, Spanish linguistics. Hector Juarez Vargas, data science. Eric Lemus Braham, major, legal studies. Carlos Linares Hernandez, major, integrative biology. Naomi Lobo, major, geography. Jesus Lopez, major, psychology. Mariela Lopez, major, media studies, minor, global poverty and practice. Zion Lopez, major, sociology, minor, education. Woo! Yoselin Leilani Lopez Martinez, major, sociology, minor, education, second minor, human rights, interdisciplinary. David Luna Cruz, major, social welfare. Everardo Magaña, major philosophy. Yasmin Magaña Marcial, major sociology. Grecia Maldonado, major Spanish and Portuguese. Second major, molecular environmental biology. Maria Marcos, major sociology, second major social welfare. Minor in human rights, interdisciplinary. Alexis Marfil, major comparative literature, minor education. Alexandra Martin, major applied mathematics, double major, also in cognitive science.
Andrea Martin, major psychology, minor education. Luis Martinez, major sociology, minor public health. Perla Martinez, economics. Ziria Martinez Ochoa, major integrative biology. Hilary Medel, major cognitive science.
Sorry, Ray.
Nancy Mejorado, major sociology. Ashley Mendez, major sociology. Andrew Mendoza Serrano, major integrative biology. Yasmin Mercado, major political economy, second major music, minor public policy. Diamond Michelle, major history, second major sociology, minor education. Salma Montes, major English. Manuel Morales, major legal studies, second major Chicano studies and Latina studies, minor education. Jennifer Morales Fernandez, major cognitive science. Maricruz Moreno, major psychology. Silvia Munoz, major sociology, second major Spanish and Portuguese. Alexis Nájera Ayala, major economics. Samantha Navarrete, major history, minor human rights interdisciplinary, second minor race and law. Janely Nunez, major sociology, minor public policy. Gabriela Nunez, major political science, minor education, second minor human rights interdisciplinary. Alia Ochoa, major social welfare, minor public policy. Jimena Ojeda, major legal studies, second major ethnic studies. Veronica Olvera, major molecular and cell biology, minor Chicano Latino studies. Cristina Orellana, major social welfare, minor ethnic studies. Julio Ornelas, major molecular and cell biology, second major economics.
Natalie Orozco, gender and women's studies. Jacqueline Ortiz, legal studies. Melissa Oviedo, political science, second major social welfare, minor human rights interdisciplinary. Alejandra Padilla, interdisciplinary studies. Elizabeth Paredes Zamudio, Spanish and Portuguese. And Jenny Pelletier Jean Gregorio, legal studies, media studies. Nayeli Penalosa Camacho, social welfare. Abigail Perez, social welfare, legal studies. Valerie Plasencia, social welfare, Spanish language and literature. Monica Poblano, psychology, social welfare. Kevin Ponce, computer science. Diego Puducay, data science. Lillian Quejada Madrid, integrative biology. Alisa Quintanilla, gender and women's studies, social welfare. Ailea Irene Quiroz Pando, sociology, social welfare. Jennifer Ramirez, media studies. Oscar Ramos, public health, public policy. Victoria Real, applied mathematics, minor ethnic studies.
Brisa Rodriguez, psychology and legal studies. That's what it says.
I'm sorry, I ended early. Sorry.
What you do? What's up, bro? What's up?
Wait.
Brisa Reyes, English and a minor in journalism. Cindy Johanna Reyes Pineda, sociology. I got it, don't worry about it. You got me. David Resapur, anthropology. Brianna Rios Gutierrez, geography. Lucy Dania Robles, sociology with a minor in education and public policy. Alexander Rodriguez, majors in legal studies, minors in education and global poverty and practice. Brisa Rodriguez, psychology and legal studies. Giovanni Rodriguez, English and education. No, that's not it. Grisel Rodriguez, molecular cell biology, minor in Spanish language, literature, and public policy. Montserrat Rodriguez, media studies. Savannah Rodriguez, political science and public policy. Stephanie Rodriguez, sociology. Jose Rodriguez Munoz, cognitive science with a minor in data science. Vanessa Rodriguez Nor, legal studies with a minor in Spanish language and literature and education. Celeste Rojas, global studies. Juan Rosales, data science. Ariana Rubalcaba, poli-sci and public policy. Jennifer Rubio, interdisciplinary studies. Arlinda Ruiz, social welfare with a minor in Chicano Latino studies. Graciela Ruiz, social welfare with a minor in food systems. Tanya Samao Lerma, cognitive science and social welfare. Jocelyn Sanchez, Public Health with a minor in Chicano Latino Studies. Isaac Santiago, Poli-Sci with a minor in Public Policy. Kimberly Santos, Psychology. Martina Sarceno, Sociology with a minor in Education. America Segura, Poli-Sci. Jasmine Smith, Integrated Biology with a minor in African American Studies. Amber Soto, Media Studies and History. Gisela Tarifa, Sociology with a minor in Education. Jaime T. Espatino, major in History with a minor in Political Economy.
Yep. Maria Fernanda Tello, Philosophy. Jesus Torres, Public Health. Joana Torres, Political Science. Mateo Torrico, Major, Political Science, 2 minors, Public Policy and Ethnic Studies. Martín Ulloa, Political Science with a minor in Education. Osvaldo Valadez, Data Science. Verania Valdez, Public Health and a minor in Global Public Health. Pedro Valdez Grimaldo, Geography and a minor in Public Policy. Isidra Varela Rosas, Major Geography, minor in Conservation and Resources Studies and Food Systems. Cisco Vargas, Global Studies. Brian Vasquez, Media Studies and a minor in Global Poverty and Practice. Daniel Vasquez, Public Health. Victor Vasquez, Sociology. Yareli Adaí Vasquez Guevara, Integrative Biology and a minor in Chicano and Latino Studies. Diana Velasco Benitez, English. Genesis Bellis, Public Health. Chitali Vergara, Major, Molecular and Cell Biology, minor in Ethnic Studies. Tiffany Villa, Major in Molecular and Cell Biology. Brad Villasis, Major in Computer Science, minor in Education. Jocelyn Villagran Lopez, Major in Political Science and a minor in Public Policy. Carolina Villegas, a major in Legal Studies and a minor in Education. Dixie Whitehell, major in Cognitive Science and a minor in Computer Science. Felicidades a ustedes. Carla Zamora, major in data science and a minor in education. Alejandra Zamora Hernandez, a major in political science and a minor in public policy. Alexis Zaragoza, double major in geography and political science. Kenny Purizaga Orejuela, comparative ethnic studies. Jose Baeza, legal studies. Marisa Briceño, chemical engineering. Genesis Chavez, a double major in ethnic studies and legal studies, and a minor in race and the law. Lisette Corrales, mechanical engineering. Bianca Uli Estrada, social welfare. Lisbeth Flores, economics. Litzy Belinda Hernandez Tiburcio, legal studies. Alexa Medina, media studies. Jocelyn Mireles Gonzalez, film and media with a minor in theater and performance. Yailin Perez, political science. Sofia Ramirez, environmental sciences.
¡Sin miedo al éxito!
Samantha Red, civil engineering. Refugio Carlos Javier Solís, Jr., sociology and a certificate in design innovation. Laura Valencia Loaiza, political science and double major in society and the environment. Cristina Villalobos Heredia, geography. Patricia Fernandez, legal studies with a minor in human rights and a second minor in education. Andrea Duque, masters in real estate development. Genesis Alejo, major legal studies and a minor in education. And that, my friends, are the brilliant people who come to Berkeley to graduate.
¿Quién lloró? ¿Verdad? Yo también. I was like, ay. And now, to close us out, I want to bring back up to the mic Professor Kurt Organista, who will confer the degrees for the entire class.
So we have one more piece of official business, and that's the conferring of degrees. And as you all probably remember, you should have your tassel on the right side. And then after I confer the degrees, you switch it to the left side. That's not a political statement. That's just the official business here. Is everybody ready? So it goes something like this. By the power vested in me by the University of California, I confer upon each and every one of you graduates the degree you worked so hard to achieve today. your degree from the University of California, Berkeley.
All right. Otra vez, I'm going to go live on Instagram. All right. Sit down. Yeah. Para la bulla. Hay que parar la bulla. Before we close out, a warm congratulations on my part because I have the mic and I have the privilege and honor. Congratulations to you all. This wouldn't be put together without the support of the faculty who are up on stage. So please help us thank the faculty and the administration for making this happen, for challenging you, for getting you to be more critical, better critical thinkers, right? And for what that guy said too. And also, this could not happen without the many volunteers that make it all happen behind the stage who you don't see. It's like a mess back there. So let's thank all the volunteers that were here today, the soundstage people, the danzantes, everybody. And you all know, all the students know that none of this is possible without the leadership of Lupe Gallegos over there, right? And last but not least, hay que darle las gracias a todos los padres, los tíos, los hermanos, los familiares, todos que los han apoyado en su camino para verlos ser exitosos en este día. Muchísimas gracias a todos. So with that, this concludes this year's ceremony. Please, if you're going to celebrate responsibly, preferably with tequila and añejo will go well. Bola de borrachos, bola de borrachos. And let's cue the music.
Todavía tengo ganas de llamarte. Todavía no entiendo por qué ya no estás. Todavía no sé si voy a recuperarte. No sé qué pasará, pero